happy to get a win. Proud of this team coming in and battling each week. Thought we did a lot of good things really in all three phases. Crowd made a difference again. Awesome playing at Research Stadium, student section, jumping around, but defensive effort throughout the night. Really solid. Got a couple of turnovers scored themselves. The run game helped us a bunch on offense. And I thought Ben made some good throws to extend some drives and things. And so pleased with getting another win.
Jonathan, you've been going with a three-man rotation of running back. What's different about Damian Martinez?
Yeah, I think the way he can see a crease and then acceleration past the hole. I do think some of those runs are blocked pretty well, and not just by the O-line. And some of these longer runs come from the perimeter blocking, but he's special. The guy's got a nice knack for being a true freshman. Got his fair share of carries tonight and showed up.
Do you feel like down the stretch you're still going to continue this rotation and see who gets hot, or do you think Damian's starting to move into a lead back?
Well, he moved that way tonight. Deshaun pregame wasn't feeling great, and so we kind of kept him in a more or less an emergency role. So then now you're just jamming Damien sharing the carries, and Damien got hot and had some big runs and on third down especially too. So we'll see. We'll check out this tape, but we do feel like he's a really good player.
What do you feel like Damien is, the last 3 or 4 games is where he's really starting to take off? What has he done?
Right.
Did he just turn the corner on?
Yeah, there's something that stands out like he's done in practice, or I do think, again, for being a first-year player, more time, more experience, he's learned, he's gotten more comfortable, he's kept working hard, and when there's been a crease, he's been able to hit it.
With win number 6, obviously, comes bowl eligibility, and just curious if you feel like at this point in building the program back up, if that's kind of the expectation now. I mean, I feel like we haven't heard that come up as a goal or anything like that this year.
Well, you definitely want to go every year, and you get the 6 wins. We had a chance to do it. There wasn't a huge amount of talk even in this locker room about it. They were celebrating like they had won a game, but it wasn't added just because it was 6. So I think there's a maturity to this group. I think we understand there's a big month of November of these games we got in front of us.
And with regard to this game in particular, the takeaways defensively, how much did you feel like that helped you separate?
Yeah, that was huge. I mean, we put the ball on the ground first series offensively, and I think we got it right back. Obviously, anytime you score on defense, we were challenging some things in the secondary, came up with some big plays, had a couple penalties when you play that aggressive style. But anytime you can get taking the ball away like that is huge.
You touched on this a little bit earlier, but was this your most complete game of the year, would you say, when you talked about all 3 phases?
I think the last couple of weeks, yeah, all 3 phases. This one again, yeah, because I look at the way we play defensively. They get this 1 score in the second half, and we helped them out doing that with some penalties. Offensively, again, it had some real balance. Ran the ball pretty well, but effective in the pass game. I think we were around 50-50 yardage-wise. Been efficient, didn't totally kill us. He got us kind of lucky on the one that got overturned. And then special teams pretty solid, man. We're punting, covering kicks, kicking off. So last 2 weeks been pretty good.
Going back to the 6 wins, that's 2 straight years now of bowl eligibility. Looking back in the bigger picture, what does that say for the work that you and your staff have done, the guys that have come here obviously before, the guys that are still here, and just taking a step to realize that was pretty unbelievable a few years ago?
Yeah, there's no question it's satisfying to feel like we're in a lot better place in year 5 than we were in year 1. A lot of heavy lifting. Appreciate the efforts of really everyone involved. We have a coaching staff that's been pretty consistent, got continuity there. We got an administration that supports us, a fan base that's continued to support us, and so yeah, it feels good if you take the time to think back a lot about 2018.
Do you feel like this was maybe a small step in that you've been winning games in different ways, but this is the first time you've really taken out a conference opponent where you were supposed to win and you took them out from the get-go, and it was really a pretty easy win.
Yeah, I felt like the week of practice we had, again, going back to this leadership maturity we've got, they approached it the same way. We were moving around in practice. These guys were locked in at meetings. They knew the adjustments we wanted to make in all 3 phases, and so I wasn't overly surprised for us to go out and play really well.
Just looking sort of at this season, obviously you guys have already overcome so much adversity, especially from an injury standpoint, and then the tough schedule that you guys had coming into this year. How much does, these wins and the matter that you already secured your postseason bid mean to this program, and how much does it say about where you guys are playing at this level right now?
Again, it goes to consistency, and I do think the front end of the schedule was tough, but I look at the back end, I think the things could be tough too. We're pleased to win another game, won a few in a row now. I think the bye's coming at a decent time. These guys have been working hard, trying to, freshen them up and that kind of thing, maybe even catch up on a little class through the bye. And then we try to create a big November, and we've done that for ourselves.
To sort of piggyback on that, how important is health going through this bye week, and maybe possibly getting some guys back going into that following week?
It's a big piece. You try to get healthy. At the same time, it's a balancing act where we're not going to just not do anything for an entire week. We want to keep them locked in. We want to keep a little bit of rhythm, but definitely give them a few days to take a deep breath.
Any other questions?
Just to, again, sort of piggyback on that, and I know you mentioned that you guys weren't specifically playing just to get bowl eligible now, but is that in a way sort of allow you guys to play a little bit more freer?
I didn't think we played tight tonight, so that hasn't been a major theme. I think we'll be excited about the opportunity we've got, like I say, in November with that. And so, again, our record before the previous, when we're going to play, we're thinking about all about that game and not what's taking place beforehand.
Is it realistic to look for either Trey or Luke to rejoin the roster after the bye?
Yeah, I think Trey's closer than Luke, so realistic, yes. But again, we'll see how they continue to come back.
What about Everett?
Tried to do it pregame, just was not feeling great. And again, the way Atticus has been kicking, we felt confident with him on the kickoffs. I guess he didn't get much field goal wise. Did kick extra points, but it was pregame. Everett wasn't ready to go.
Several weeks, seems like you've been improving more and more each week. What are you seeing out there, and where's the improvement coming from?
It really starts with the O line. I mean, can't do what I do without them. So it really starts there. Just that's where it starts. Just gotta trust what I see, and yeah.
Was there anything tonight that you saw? You had several long double-digit runs tonight. Is there something that you saw a little differently tonight, or?
No, it's just the O line doing what they're coached to do. Me getting to the spot, and then just trying to make a play after that.
Damien, when you came into this program, did you have an idea that you might have a role like this as the season progressed, or did you think you might have to kind of wait your turn a little bit?
I wouldn't say I thought I came in here like I was going to get a role, but definitely wanted to be in this rotation and try and get a part of that, get some experience there.
And how much fun has it been in your first season to have the success on the scoreboard? Obviously now it's 6-2 through the first, I guess, 2/3 of the season.
It's definitely a good experience. It's fun. It's been fun. Like you said, it's my freshman year, so just getting that experience and being able to play is fun.
Damien, what's your preference for range of total number of carries?
My range? I don't really have a range. It's just whatever coach needs me to do, whatever the team needs me to get done and execute.
I guess in a small step kind of way, does this feel like a little bit of a small step forward in that you have a conference game where you just dominated the game from start to finish? And that was tonight. Do you feel like that was a small step for this program?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a step from the program, from the standpoint of not the win or the loss or the one game, but just from a standpoint of where we're at, how we handle business. Your favorite in a game like that, it's easy to let it get to your head. All the outside noise and predictions, we were on the flip spot of that one time. But I think we did a really good job with our preparation and really respecting our opponent through our preparation, our film study, and how we're executing in practice, and I think it showed tonight.
Another thing was early when you guys came out at halftime, you're up 21-3, you had the game in control, but it seemed like you just came right out and took them completely out of the game with those first 3 minutes with the pick and the. Would you talk a little bit about that? That's part of the game.
Yeah, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we had a quick sudden change to start in the second half, or maybe, I don't know, but I know that at halftime there was a lot of talk about 0-0 ball game, talk about a new half, and not looking at the scoreboard, but literally every single play, every single snap, trying to execute to the best of your ability, trying to be our best us, and that doesn't happen by, getting comfortable with a lead or getting complacent in certain areas. We're always pushing to execute as best as we can on every given snap.
Jaydon, I don't think I've heard from anyone, say that a bowl game is one of your goals this year. Now with 6 wins, obviously, you're eligible. A, is it relieving to cross that? But B, is that kind of just the expectation now?
These new dudes is in the program. They're spoiled. They're spoiled. But that's a beautiful thing though, is that these new dudes who are in our program, this is exactly what they expect. They expect to go to bowl games early in the season. They don't expect to have to wait on your last 2 games to figure out if you're going to be eligible or not. So I think that's a beautiful thing about this process. Since Coach Smith first came here, we've came a long way, and the fact that there wasn't one word that I heard about being bowl eligible down there after this game. I think it really speaks volumes to not only our progress and process, but where this program is headed as well.
Jaydon, can you talk about just being 6-2 heading into the bye week now? You guys got 4 games after, and how does it fall for you guys, and how do you think it's going to be helpful for you guys into the stretch run?
Yeah, it's definitely nice to get a bye week. I think that your body kind of gets beat up through the season. Obviously, you guys know people go down. Just the taxing that happens to your body in the season. So it's great to win before the bye. Last year, took a loss before a bye, wasn't ideal, wasn't a good feeling. So it's definitely a good feeling to be able to sit on the win, reflect the tape, recover, and then get an extra week of preparation and prepare to win that next game.
Throughout the offseason from spring camp of last year, you guys talked about making sure that that last season didn't feel like a fluke. How much do you feel like that statement has been answered, and how much do you feel like you guys still have to go to make that statement?
I don't think we're really thinking about last season or whatever last season was. We're just trying to be our best us and really capitalize on this opportunity that we have right now in this moment for our football program and for our football team. It's took a lot of work to get to a point to be playing this good of ball, and you can't take any step backwards, and you can't get complacent with your progress or the little things that you've done so far. You have to continue. It's almost like you have to success to continue to have more success. You got to be even harder on yourself. You got to critique yourself even more. You got to be on top of little things: sleep, hydration, food. All those things is what really separates good teams from great teams, great teams from elite teams. So we're gonna try to stay on top of all the little things and keep our process right.
Going into this bye week, how important is you guys getting healthy? Being able to get some of your guys back, for the rest of the season.
Yeah, that'll be a huge thing. I think just for everybody, those guys that are banged up, obviously giving them time to get back, and then the guys who have been suiting up, who have those nicks and bruises, to go ahead and get in the training room and get our bodies to feel as good as we can, for that next game.
Jaydon, he's not on your side of the ball, but Damian Martinez, game after game, is just showing big leaps of improvement. I'm just wondering, as a defense, what does that feel like to have a running back that can just wear teams out and for defense?
It's speaking from a defense, it's really tough when you have a back that can pound the ball for 4-6 yards every given snap. It's really tough when they got a back like that, and we have about three or four of those guys. So always changing it up. All those guys complement each other so well. All those guys are super unselfish. They don't care who gets the ball. They all are just trying to play their roles to the best of their ability. A lot of stuff that you guys don't see. A lot of those pass plays, I've seen so many guys throwing their bodies around, picking up blocks, doing all the little things. So I just think it speaks volumes to Coach Stewart as a coach and then that whole entire running back room.
Last question.
You touched on this earlier, but can you reflect a little bit on what you've seen out of this program from when you came in to where it is now?
Man, leaps and bounds. And I really give all the credit to Coach Smith. It starts with him, and then every single person that they brought into this program. Same with Eddie Barnes back there. Just a total 360 from when I first came here. And like I always say, I can't be more blessed and thankful to rep this beads across my chest with this C right here. It really means.
Alex, I guess just kind of take it through the pick six. What did you see? What happened on that play?
Oh man, shout out to the coach for a great scheme for this week. They ran the same play early in the game, so saw the same formation coming out of halftime. I knew it was coming. It was going to be my time, so I just had to execute and get the job done. Huge shout out to the whole defense, for making everything happen with the great disguise, and was able to get it done.
Takeaway's been a big priority with this defense, and you guys started out well this season, then you had kind of a dry spell, but lately it seems like you're back to that. What's changed, I guess, in that regard?
I would just say how we approaching the weekly practice. You know, coming to practice every week, approaching it like we have to get takeaways. You know, that's been an emphasis for us on the defensive side of the ball. So, just emphasizing whenever we have that opportunity to be able to make sure we come up with it.
Any questions for Alex?
How big is it for you guys to, be able to head into your bye week knowing that you're already bowl eligible?
Oh man, that's big for us. Being able to go into the bye week 6-2, bowl eligible already. On top of that, we have a Friday game after the bye, so being able to come into the bye week with extra preparation to get ready for a Friday game, I think is big because not too many teams get that opportunity. So I feel like our bye week is at a perfect spot throughout the season.
How big would it be for you guys to get a couple guys back after this bye week? Obviously, you got a lot of banged up players on offense and defense.
Oh man, that would be big for us, of course. But we always preach a next man mentality. So next man up. We know the guy behind us is ready to get the job done.